Child-free by choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't want kids?
Hey people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video, it's another child-free video. Yeah, we're talking about child-free women, okay? So this creator asked the question that child-free women, what is the response you give when people ask you, why don't you want kids? And she wanted to ask, oh, do you go sassy? Do you go on the educational route? Do you go just blatantly go rude on them? How do you approach it, or how do you answer that question when people ask you, why don't you want kids? And I find this conversation interesting coming from somebody that is 95% child free, okay, by choice, okay. I love this question because my society, my culture, this is a question that's been asked. And if you are an African woman, a black woman, that this question is being pushed down your throat 99% of the time, listen. You may have a perfect way to answer them now and shut them up, so just listen, okay? And even generally, if you're a child-free person and people ask you this question all the time, why don't you want kids, and you're looking for the answer to, please watch this video, or you have your own answer, please share it down in the comment section so that other people and myself will learn and all that. So with that all said, guys, let's go check out the video and other child-free women's response. Then I'll come back and share my own answer to the question, okay? So with that all said, guys, let's go check out this video.
Child-free by choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't want kids? Do you go educational? Do you go sassy? I want to know. I'm just curious to what other people's responses are. And this thread and your responses might just help people that have just realized that they don't want kids and they don't know how to respond to this question when people ask such an intrusive question. Most people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't want kids?
I used to want to justify it to people, and I would always come up with several questions. And even though I never questioned myself, I don't know why I felt like they needed to understand me. But they don't, and I also don't care if they do. And my situation has no bearing on yours, or my circumstances have nothing to do with your circumstances. So yeah, I lately just tell people I don't want kids. And the moment they ask me that, I tend to, you could tell with my face and you could tell with my reaction and I guess like my energy that I immediately don't want to engage anything further, or that you shouldn't ask me anything further, because my answer is so firm and so direct that you just immediately know, like, yeah, like she's good. There's no need to say anything else because nothing else is going to work. Like it's just stupid. Yeah, I just don't want kids and that's it.
People, what is your response when people ask you why you don't want kids?
So this is a double-edged question for me because I knew early on in my life that I didn't want children and knew that that wasn't the path for me. And then I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis a couple years ago, and from the medications that I take and complications that I've had with that, I can't have children. So essentially the choice was taken away from me, but it's still kind of entertaining when people ask, like, oh, why aren't you having kids? And to say, well, I can't because of like an autoimmune neurological disease that I have. They get really uncomfortable, and it gives me a little bit of satisfaction because it's a question that's no one's business anyways. But yeah, that's how I answer it.
Child-free by choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't?
Mind your own business. No, seriously, mind your own business.
People, what is your response when people ask you why you don't want kids?
I want to be selfish. I don't want to birth a child. I don't want to grow a child within me. I want to be selfish for myself, for my dog, for my future animals, and for my partner. I want us to be able to do whatever we want without having to worry about a child. Because dogs, hey, can you dog sit? Easy. I want to be selfish for me, my dog, my future dogs, and my future partner, to go wherever we want, to buy whatever we want. And that's it. Short, sweet, and simple.
Child-free by choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't?
The only response I will ever give is, are you paying for them? Because if you're not paying for them, you can just shut them. This is none of your business. Also, it's just none of your business who has kids and who doesn't. Okay? Good job.
By choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't want kids?
Funny you should ask, but most people have kids and they say something, and I'm like, see, reason number 226 why I don't have children.
Choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't want kids?
What makes you assume I can have kids?
Child free by choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't?
I have like this aunt in my family who like doesn't have any kids, and she's out there living her best life, going to all these countries and having a good time because she doesn't have any kids. She's free to do whatever she wants, and I feel like when you don't have any kids, you're free. And I also don't want to have to deal with having to take care of somebody for 18 years and then for them to treat you like shit for literally no reason because they want to act out. I just don't want to have to deal with that. I don't have the patience for people's...
She accent.
And I also don't want to bring another human being into this world because it's so messed up.
Child free by choice people, what is your response?
Simple and sweet. I know my boundaries, I know my limitations, and I don't want to challenge either of those.
Period.
Thank you very much.
Choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't want kids?
I like the life I've built. I like the freedom that the life that I've built gives me for the most part. If I want to see a movie, because I'm a huge movie nerd, I don't have to have somebody watching the kid. If I want to go on vacation with my friends or to the local Comic-Con, I can do that without having plans for the kid. And then, of course, you know, people are like, well, you're just selfish then. Okay, call me selfish if you want to, but I realize that I like having that freedom and that selfishness. And therefore, I'm not going to bring a child into the world. Instead of people who bring children into the world thinking that's what they're supposed to do, only to realize after that they wish they had the freedom that I have. Mm-hmm. And I'd rather be on one side than the other in that debate.
Child free by choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't?
It's very simple. I'm done ticking society's checkboxes. You should only become a mother if you 100% feel like those motherly instincts. Not just because society gave you a checkbox.
Mm-hmm.
Because many, many years ago, not everybody had kids. They've just dumped this kind of thing on us to be like, now it's a must. It's not a must. Stop the silly checkboxes. Marriage, children, and there's many other things on that checkbox. I forget. Bye.
Child free by choice people, what is your response when people ask you why you don't?
If it's someone that I feel is just trying to antagonize me for not having kids because they feel as though my sole purpose was to have kids, I would usually say something along the lines of, before I answer that question, I'd like to know why you feel entitled to having me justify my life decisions to you, and just stay quiet. But if it's someone that you know, someone a little closer to you, and they maybe are thinking of being child-free too, and they want to see if your decisions or your reasoning aligns with theirs, then I'll give them a list of things. For starters, I never felt like that was my purpose. I never felt an innate want to have kids. I know some people who say that their sole purpose, their entire purpose, was to be a mother. I never felt that. And because I never felt that, I didn't feel like it was fair to bring a child into the world, because they would be unwanted. Now, I can't say that I wouldn't grow love for this child, right? Of course, if I had a kid, I'd grow to love it, but it wouldn't be fair to know, for the kid to know. I feel like they would end up resenting me, knowing that I never really wanted kids and I just had them because I'm ticking off some kind of societal checklist. I have nieces and nephews, a lot of them, and I've grown to love them, obviously. They're my family. But even having them in my life made me realize I don't want kids of my own. There's just nothing in me that desires to have kids. I think the bigger question is, why are we only asking women why they want to be child free? Why is it that every time there is a woman who decides that they don't want to have kids, it's a much bigger deal than if men say they don't want to have kids? Because for some reason, society sees the only purpose that women have on earth is to bear children. And that's not true. I've always known from an early age that my purpose was way bigger than having kids. And if that's your purpose, that's fine and dandy. But I hope I'm not offending you when I say my purpose is something more. My purpose is something bigger. That was never in the cards for me. I also don't feel like I have to follow this timeline that everybody seems to think that women should do. Oh, you're at this age, you're married now, you guys own a house, you should have kids. No, that's not what we want for our lives. If that's what you want for your life, great. You do that. But it's just not for me. Also, besides the fact that it's my fucking life and I decide what I want to do with it, and I don't have to justify that reasoning to any fucking body. And if you don't like it, that's a you problem.
Yeah. Please go down in the comment section and share your thought. If you're a child-free person, share your thought when people ask you the question, why don't you want kids? What's your response? Do you go in the route of educating them? Do you go in the route of you just cutting them off and keeping a straight face? Let us know your own take on it, okay? But please keep it respectful. Here on the channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So please be respectful as always. So for me, it depends on who is asking. In my society, it's unheard of for a woman who is married for over 10 years and don't have a child. Me. And people are not asking her, when are you going to have kids? Have you tried this? Have you that? So it depends who the person is and why the person is asking. Some of them really comes because they've been programmed that way. Remember that, oh, this is what a woman should do. This is how a woman should do it. So they always, most times, people are very curious, like, how can I be married for that long, don't have kids, and I'm living my best life, and I'm still happy, I'm not miserable, I'm not looking for solution. They are baffled. So this is it. If you're a total stranger and you ask me, I give it the look and I'm like, I just don't want them. But if you're close to me and you're like, girl, but why? Da, 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 da. Because the way my society is, sometimes even a total stranger, I will educate you. I usually go more of the education route. But if you come up as rude when you ask me, like, why don't you have kids? I'm going to I just don't want it. Like, I will not explain myself. But when I explain in the form coming from educational, and I try to educate people because a lot of people in my society don't know. I remember some years ago, about 6 years ago each, I remember I was on this route where I was asking everybody and anybody, why do you want kids or why do you have kids? And that answer I got, you could clearly see that a lot of the answers were very, very selfish. I know that. So when it comes to them asking me, I'm just like, you know what? Come here, let me educate you. The kids you have, what did you do with them? Or you that your parents gave birth to, what did they do with you? Like, so why should I have kids? I always reverse the question, like, why should I have kids? You guys are saying, oh, you should have, why don't you want kids? Why should I? The world is expensive. You people that have kids are complaining of how much they spend, how exhausting it is, how they don't have time, how they don't. So why should I have kids? And when they come up with, oh, you need somebody that will take care of you in old age, I'm like, don't worry, I got me. I'm going to work my ass now that I can so that I can take care of myself in old age. And secondly, it's not guaranteed they are going to take care of me. And when they say, oh, somebody that will take after my family name, I'm like, oh, am I? What does my name do? What legacy do I have for the child that the child wants to have my name? Does my name open the central bank? And I say, oh, companion. I love my company a lot. So don't worry. I know how to keep myself entertained by myself. Like, oh, what else again do they usually say? Most times when I answer those three major questions, the person just, okay, just live your life. I'm like, just live your life. And I'll tell them, the most important question you should ask anybody is, are you happy with your life? Do you feel fulfilled with your life? And if they do, respect it and move on. Stop washing people's woman when they should have kids. That's my own answer to it. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this conversation and your opinion down in the comment section. Go on and share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have bangy conversation. So go ahead and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl. With that, I will say subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces!